Let's get you the latest on this. The ANC has failed in its bid to have Tshwane Mayor Randall Williams removed due to complaints around a 26 billion rand unsolicited bid to refurbish power stations in the city. The ANC staged a walkout when the motion was not tabled due to technicalities. Tshwane has run through a coalition government led by the DA. It was its coalition partner ActionSA that raised complaints around Mayor Randall Williams, and our reporter Mbali Thethani was there to give us the very latest now for this. Thank you very much, Mbali. So these technicalities, what are we talking about?
Well, Dudu, you would have heard in the recent weeks a number of political parties in the city of Tshwane, the likes of ActionSA, the EFF, as well as the ANC, just raising the issue around that 26 billion rand unsolicited bid. Of course, the DA has reworded it and said that, well, it's not really a tender, but it is really an investment. It's an investment proposal, and there was that subsequent video that made the rounds on social media. But of course, because of that, we now saw ourselves in the city of Tshwane, and of course, this issue now being raised of a motion of no confidence, this motion being tabled by the ANC, saying that this is corruption and, you know, he needs to account and the mayor needs to go. So when it comes to the technicalities, you'd know that in council there's at least 214 members of council, and just yesterday we know that, well, some members of that council are saying there were 100 councillors, while the others are saying that they had 101. So it was indeed due to some technicalities that that motion could not go ahead. Of course, the DA quite satisfied with the revelations of what we saw in council, where that motion of no confidence in the mayor could not be tabled. Let's take a listen to Cilliers Brink from the DA.
So what we've said earlier this week is that there is clearly a coordinated campaign, not just in Tshwane, but in all of the metros, to destabilize the coalition administrations. There's also been a motion of no confidence brought in Dr. Mpopalatsi in Johannesburg, and there are clear indications that Tanya Campbell will also face a motion of no confidence in Ekurhuleni. And so what the DA did earlier this week is to explain the context of these. And I think it's very important to understand that it's not in the ANC's interests for these mayors and these coalition administrations in the metros to succeed. Because if they do succeed, the ANC is going to slip even further in the next election and the election beyond that. So I think there is clearly an assault on coalition administrations.
So while that is possible, right, this investment to power up the city of Tshwane, while necessary, it's not the what but the how it's being done, which is essentially what opposition parties are questioning.
Of course, and this is what we questioned even as journalists last week when the DA held this press briefing to explain what that investment means for the city. But they couldn't give us specifics in terms of, you know, how much they would be charging this private company to, of course, be on that piece of land to have these power stations. And, of course, you know, what it means for the people of Tshwane. But at the same time, when you look at these issues being raised, even by these political parties, when you look at that motion of no confidence yesterday, you would know that if you need a motion of no confidence, that numbers are essential. And of course, because their coalition partner being the ActionSA, being not part of that motion of no confidence, you know, this is something that the ANC raised and said that, you know, they were quite, you know, taken aback by the decision by this party, which is part of this coalition, to not be part of that motion of no confidence. Let's take a listen to the ANC Eugene there in that bite.
Some are protecting their jackets, like the relationship, the marriage of ActionSA, which is something that we'll look into when we proceed. But if they agree with us, and they were at the forefront actually of talking about the recording, how could you say you are going to investigate, whereas you've got information which is compelling for you to take action? So they are just playing games, but time will catch up with them.
Time will catch up with them. So where to from here?
Of course, the ANC is not backing down. They are saying that they will indeed be filing some sort of legal challenge against the speaker because they say that, you know, the way in which that motion of no confidence was indeed tabled was not according to the rules of the House. So definitely, what we also know that is that there can't be another motion in the next 3 months. So if they do want another motion to be tabled, they'll have to wait for at least 3 months. So of course, while this takes place, we also know, Dudu, that the coalition agreement, they are also conducting their own internal investigation into Randall Williams and to actually look into his role in this bid.
Mbali, Thethani, thank you very much for that update. Do stay